Good morning, you guys. Good morning, and welcome to day 23 of 90 days through the Word. And I hope and pray that you are having a blessed day in the Lord on this very, very day. Now, today our reading found us in the book of 2 Samuel 12:11 through 2 Samuel 22:18. And I am going to try to attempt to run through some highlights of all that we read today and add a lesson in the end, I hope and pray. So, in chapter 12, Nathan visits David, and David and Bathsheba's son dies. Chapter 13, Tamar's brother violates and hates her, and her other brother, Absalom, then hated the brother who loved her, whose name, by the way, is Aon. David is nothing more than angry, and Absalom eventually murders Aon, and Absalom leaves town. David mourns greatly for one son while missing the other son. Chapter 14, Joab begins to manipulate David through a woman named Tekoa, but David is a wise king and allows Absalom to return to Jerusalem. Chapter 15, Absalom begins to conspire against his dad, the king, by standing beside the gate and advising folks as a judge. He's not the judge, he just wants to be the judge, and he takes his position as the judge. And hearts are turned to Absalom. They love him. He's handsome. He's good looking. He has this amazing stature. So the people of Israel love Absalom. Chapter 16. Absalom consults a highly esteemed councilman who suggests Absalom goes into his dad's house with David's concubine to become a stench to David. Chapter 17. All of Israel knows David is a mighty man of war, and the opposition, led by Absalom, conspires to defeat David in battle. But he is the great man of war. Chapter 18. King David gave gentle orders concerning his son Absalom, but Joab, armor bearer, surrounded him, and he lives no more. Chapter 19. Because Absalom is defeated, David regains his kingship. But in chapter 19, Joab has to go to David and rebuke him in regards to his negative behavior in view of Israel. So David's acting like a baby because he lost his son Aon, he lost his son Absalom, and of course he lost the son that he had with Bathsheba in his sin, and he's acting like a baby. He's not acting like a powerful king who just defeated a great army. So Joab rebukes him greatly. Chapter 20, Sheba, a Benjamite, is against David, and he no longer lives because a woman beheaded him. He was going to go up against David as well, but a woman beheaded him and delivered his head to Joab. Chapter 21, a 3-year famine comes, or they experience a 3-year famine, and David sought the Lord and avenged the Gibeonites. Chapter 22, David is finally fully delivered and spoke to the Lord in a beautiful song, which is there in chapter 22. Now, if I had to pull a lesson from this, I would pull this lesson that Joab rebuked David with. When we have a victory, but the victory causes us to sacrifice greatly, or within the victory, there's also sacrifice. So there's sacrifice, suffering, and victory. It would behoove us to focus on the victory and not the suffering or the sacrifice, because we've already focused on the suffering and the sacrifice because we've been in the suffering and the sacrifice. So when we have victory over a thing, storm, hardship, anything such as that, troubles, trials, tribulations, when we come through those things to the other side and we have victory, we would need to focus on the victory. Yes, there was suffering. Yes, there was great grief. Yes, but in view of all that the Lord has brought us through, it would behoove us to focus on the victory and not on our suffering. And this is exactly what the Lord Jesus did after he was resurrected, and he walked around for 40 days. So that is our lesson. Same lesson that Joab gives to David is our very same lesson for today. I know this is a hard and this is a tough life, but when the Lord asks us to suffer and he asks us to sacrifice, when the suffering and sacrifice is over, we need to act like it. We need to act like it. This is Sonia signing out. Have a blessed day in the Lord.